The search for Michael Vaughan continues. Michael went missing from his neighborhood in Fruitland in July of 2021. He was just 5 years old at the time. Law enforcement has spent the last year and a half investigating. But the Fruitland police chief says a credible tip led investigators to a home near Michael's neighborhood this weekend.
Crews are back out in Fruitland today searching for Michael Vaughan. Police believe his remains are in the backyard of a Fruitland home, and today is the 6th day crews are excavating the yard. Crews could be at the house on Red Wing Street for another week. This house is just 4 minutes from the Vaughn's home.
As you know, from the time Michael went missing, this has been an all-hands-on-deck investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. As a result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Stacey Wondra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement. The following day, the Fruitland Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department, began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wondra's home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue Mountain States detection dogs deployed multiple certified human remains detection dogs on the property, all of them alerting to the presence of human remains. Ground penetrating radar was also used and deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard. We completed the excavation of the entire backyard and removed over 250 yards of dirt. Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. We did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing. Once the excavation was complete, we conducted a thorough search of the Wondra's residence. The search was productive, and additional investigative evidence was recovered and is currently being processed.
Evidence suggests that the following individuals who are currently in custody are involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughan. Stacey Wondra, 35 years old. Sarah lives at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Sarah has firsthand knowledge and is involved in Michael's abduction. Stacey Wondra is currently being held at the Payette County Jail for failing to report a death to law enforcement. And Stacey Wondra, 30 years old, a male. Stacy was also living at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Stacy has firsthand knowledge and is involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughan. Brandon Shirtliff, 30 years old, of Kuna, Idaho. Brandon was living with Sarah and Stacey Wondra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe Brandon has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Adrian Lucian, 32-year-old male out of Toledo, Ohio. Adrian was staying with Sarah and Stacey Wondra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe that Adrian has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. How are you? Let me hop over here to the comments section and see who's here. We've got Connie, Evil Alaska. We've got Chaos Queen and Sarah, Suspicious. I love it. Who else do we have here? That's all I'm seeing right now. Thank you, moderators, for coming in and being here. Fancy Clancy, I love it. KB, good evening. How is everybody doing? It is December 10th of 2024. It is 6 p.m. in the Pacific Northwest. And I am so glad that everybody is here. I'm really excited for tonight's show. We've got some really good information. And, you know, we're doing this for the Vaughan family. We are doing this for Monkey. We're doing this because BRANDI asked all creators to come out and start bringing some awareness for Michael because she's sick right now. So we're sending our prayers to the Vaughan family. And there's a link up at the top. It's still pinned up there, just like the last couple of lives for the Vaughan holiday. Christmas wish list. If you want to click it and send any gifts to the Vaughan family, please do so. Prayers are free, so just always be praying for the family, for BRANDI, she's sick, and for Monkey because he's gone, and you know they need answers. They need peace, and most of all, the Vaughan family needs to know where Monkey is. And there's 4 suspects in this case, and their names are Stacey Wondra, Sarah Wondra, Adrian Lucian, and Brandon Shirtliff. And they have been the focus from the very beginning. Well, not from the very beginning, but when a tip came in that we'll get to later. Mama Bear, thank you for being here. I see you. Thank you guys all for being here. So just a little bit of something that I want to add to the live before I get started. I got a message that True Crime with Eve was doing a live to review Michael's case tonight. So I went over and was just watching what she had to say. I've gone over and watched her show lots of times. And then right before I came up, I noticed that she threw up my live interview that I did with Hot Mess from a couple nights ago. And I hope that Eve isn't trying to insinuate in any way, shape, or form that I've been working with Hot Mess this past year to collect the recordings that I'm about to go over tonight. I have never personally spoken to Hot Mess except for in other chats on other channels before. We've never worked together. I never asked her to do any recordings of Stacy. We've never talked before on the phone, emailed, text, or anything until Hot Mess asked to join our Thursday night show last week. When she came up, it was totally unexpected and spur of the moment. So I just want to make that perfectly clear in case that is what Eve is insinuating or trying to convince people of, because that's not how we rock and roll over here, okay? That's just not what we do. I'm simply putting out new content to bring awareness for Michael, because there's already been said everything that can be said, and we do have interviews that we can go over. Stacy has came up on panels and stuff. I'm just trying to put out some new content. And Hot Mess, she just wanted to come forward and talk about this stuff, you know, because she can give out certain information. She can't give out the important stuff in Michael's case because it would hinder Michael's case, right? And we're not going to do that. Lady K Talks, hey, nice to see you here. Glad you're here. Still waiting for more people to show up if they want to show up. But thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate all my subscribers, my members, the people that come in and want to watch the shows. You're all so much appreciated. So, yeah, sorry about a little bit of drama, but we already knew that it was going to happen because That's what happens. And anybody that watch live shows on YouTube already knows. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Hot Mess, and we are going to start going over the interviews. Or not interviews, sorry, recordings. Hello, hello.
Hi, Sammy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Hi, hair curlers and crime. Oh my goodness, I love it. Hair curlers and crime. That goes so well together. I wish I would have thought about that first. That is awesome. I love it. Yeah, thank you for coming up and joining us again for another show. I just also wanted to send you out some prayers and have everybody else send out some prayers for you as you start your radiation treatments on Friday.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate you coming up when you've got so much going on. Let's see if I get this right. Comrie, thank you for being here. Yeah, so I've got a list of videos that we can go through, and if you guys want to ask Hot Mess like any questions regarding the recordings, please do so afterwards, or you can throw them up while she's up there. I mean, so yeah. She shared these with me. She went through them before she sent them to me to make sure that there was nothing that law enforcement was going to be upset with. And then when she sent them to me, I went over them and double checked also. And I'm not like these videos, things that she sent me, they have been clipped and edited for reasons as of like conversations between Hot Mess and Stacy that are irrelevant because she was having a friendship with Stacy and trying to get information out of him. So when you hear the recordings, you'll understand. I know everybody understands, and sometimes these recordings have things that just need to be clipped out, whether it was cuss words from Stacy or like him burping or being gross or any of that kind of stuff. So just want everybody to know in
Can
case
I
anybody.
clarify one thing that was said on another YouTube just now? When this creator contacted me and said that this creator is working with Fruitland, I called Juanita, the detective, and verified that with her. And then once I started sending information to this creator, that was going directly to Fruitland, Detective Juanita. I think she changed her last name. I want to say Keller, but she did verify all of that for me and knew exactly. I mean, I didn't just start doing it for a creator. I had to verify that creator was actually working with Fruitland Police Department before I did anything. So I just don't jump in.
Thank you for clarifying that. I know you and I were a little bit upset when we saw, what we did see of what she's trying to say, but we already knew this was going to happen. We already had a conversation about that earlier today and yesterday, and it's just best to ignore people that, want to cause drama in a missing child's case, because that's the worst thing that you can possibly do. When a child
And I can
is missing.
verify that you are not the creator that I've been working with. So I can verify that,
Yeah.
on here. So
Yep, you coming up on Thursday Night Live was the very beginning of our relationship as far as just being friends and chat. So okay, thank you, Jesse, for being here. Hello, how are you? Let me see if anybody else has joined the chat. Again, please click that link if you have time or money to help a family in need. The Vaughns need us to have a good Christmas. That's their holiday list up there. You can purchase ICU too. Thank you for being here. There is a place where you can purchase gift cards where either the teenagers can use them, you know, to buy what they want for themselves for Christmas, or the family can use those gift cards as they fit, you know, if they need things like for the household or just whatever. So yeah, and let me throw up a banner real quick, and if you have any tips on Michael Vaughn's case or the suspects, Stacey Wondra, Sarah Wondra, Brandon Shirtliff, or Adrian Lucian, please call the tip line at the Fruitland Police tip line at 208-642-6006, or email findmichael@fruitland.org. And it's so important to put out those tips. If you've been holding something in for a long period of time and you just want to talk about it, you can do these things anonymous. Don't ever worry about your information getting out there. Just give that tip, because it could be your tip that breaks the entire case. So I'm just going to start off with a few videos that are pertaining to Stacy's failed UAs, and yeah, they all kind of pertain to his failed UAs, his money situation, and you know, going back to prison for his parole violations. So this is the first one I'm going to throw up.
Tested positive on my UA. Went back to the shelter for a little bit. For some reason, I tested positive on my UA.
What?
I don't even know how it happened, but I tested positive for morphine
Oh, that's easy.
and codeine.
That's easy. Poppy seed.
No, I told my PO about the poppy seed, she goes, well, I've heard that so many times.
Yeah, it's poppy seeds.
I tried telling her that, she didn't fucking listen.
Did they do the spin test?
Yeah, they did the spin test, and they told me it literally came back for morphine and codeine. But I don't know how it's possible. She says that it takes a lot of poppy seeds to test positive. They didn't do a spin test on me. She just sent it into the urine into the lab, and the judge to issue a U.S. Marshal warrant. Whereas the state probation, all they have to do on the clear violation, the work is he wanting to do. What are you willing to do?
So the first thing I noticed in this is that he says that they spun that urine test, and then there at the end, he says they didn't. So, I mean, like in one conversation, he's already kind of like changing his story and stuff. And we already know that it was his, you know, dirty UAs was part of the reason why he had some parole violations. That was just one of many, but he talks here about the drugs that he actually failed his UA for. So I'm going to remove that one. Yeah. Oh my God, for real.
Yeah, and I don't know if Norco is codeine, but he had got a couple of Norcos from me. I don't know a lot about pain meds, but I mean, I know he had got a couple from me. I don't know where he would have gotten the codeine or the morphine, so I'm not sure if Norcos or codeine. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and he's living with you too, and it's kind of like, why does he feel so comfortable letting you know, like, I'm getting popped for dirty UAs, or this was after he moved out. Is that what it was?
After, yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Because, like I said, I didn't know anything of him until the night that I found out about he was doing YouTubes, and the next day is when I dropped him off in Boise, and then I started Googling him like crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that. So this next one is him talking about doing drugs with people in a hotel. Let's take a listen.
Drove back to the hotel and girl and well, I was hanging out with some friends of mine, and we all fucking me and homegirl and my buddy Larry went to the Pocket and shot some pool and had a couple drinks, and then I drove back to the hotel and they had some crystal clear.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, I'm okay though. Like, I'm got it under control. Like, and honestly, the only fucking reason that I did do it was because I was surrounded by everybody else in there that was doing it, and I was the only one that wasn't. And you know how the drug situation works with people having paranoia like a motherfucker and thinking like you're a CI or a fucking...
Yeah.
That's the only reason I did it. And
So you did meth last night?
I don't want to say it out loud, please. Come on.
Well, no one's in the room. It's just me by myself. I wasn't sure what you meant by crystal clear.
Yeah, crystal clear.
Oh my god.
I smoked probably, I don't know, maybe a quarter or a half gram.
Buddy.
And then fucking...
What happens if you have to test now?
Huh?
What happens if you have to test?
Oh, I'm golden on that. I fucking, I tested 2 days ago.
Okay.
That's kind of why I pre-planned it, because they only test me, the way it's been, they've only been testing me like once a week.
Okay.
So I figure if I can at least make it till Tuesday, I'll be in the clear.
Good.
But the one thing about me though is like
I didn't know you used to use drugs before.
I told you that. I told you I dabbled with it. I didn't use it.
Oh, dabbled, yeah.
Every day, but I've had my fair share of coke and meth. Fucking pussies about it though. The two girls that were there who were doing it, they were fucking puking in the bathroom. I know it's not an everyday occurrence. I don't seek that drug. You know what I mean? I don't reach out and fucking...
I'm sorry.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that he's lying about he doesn't dibble dabble around in it, it makes it sound like that he's not a drug addict when he has clearly been for a very long time is just ridiculous.
I thought it was funny because he goes, well, you know what it's like when everybody in the room is doing it and they're paranoid because I'm not doing it and they think and they thought I was a CI. He's making an excuse for why he was getting high. That is so stupid. And no, I don't know what it's like to be in a room full of people that are paranoid.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Jesus, like to even imply that you knew when you didn't even know what he was talking about when he mentioned it to begin with. I mean, it was kind of obvious right there. But I'm just glad you could grab like some recordings and stuff and actually be able to use these to,
Well, that was in the morning. He called me in the morning. And then, so I immediately got that stuff off to Fruitland and they got it to the PO. So he ended up testing the next day.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, I think when we looked at it before that, it was like 17 to 20 different parole violations, and the majority of them were for drugs or failed UAs or whatever. So, and it was for all different kinds of drugs. It wasn't just, the ones he's mentioning here or meth or whatever. Like it was just all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, he's been doing drugs for quite a while.
Yeah, the only drug use he told me of was when I asked him about his gun charge. He said, I'm a drug felon out of Montana, and I was helping a friend pawn a gun. And so that's the only, I didn't know he was currently using.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah, I mean, you were hanging out with him and going places with him, and he was calling and coming over to your house, and he stayed the night at your house even after he got kicked out and everything. So, I mean, him like telling you
Oh,
all
he
of this
didn't.
information, you may have been like completely shocked.
Yeah, after I kicked him out, I didn't let him stay the night.
Oh,
Anytime after that.
I
No,
thought
there.
that was
Remember, I made up in the recordings I gave you. He asked. He was sitting in my truck. He asked if he could stay the night, and I said sure. And then I made up a lie about my neighbors, and then he called me wanting to talk to my neighbors and plead his case to stay, and I never let him.
Oh, okay. I thought yeah, I thought
Have
I
you-
had heard a recording, something about him coming over and staying before your new roommate came and stayed.
He wanted to, and that there was no new roommate coming,
Oh,
and
gotcha.
I didn't need, yeah, I didn't need him to know that. So
Okay.
yeah, I
So,
just didn't want him
um,
here.
right? The other night you and I had talked, so this recording is kind of verifying something that we talked about the other night on our last live, that um Stacy goes and gets a loan at a Wells Fargo's bank. He gets this loan using his taxi service and his business and ends up getting like a $50,000, or not 50, sorry,
15.
$15,000 loan or credit or whatever it is that they gave him, and he takes that 15,000, goes and purchases like 10 Verizon wireless phones, sells them for $1,500 a piece. He also bought some iPads. So he's using this money to try to do other things to collect extra money. And at the same time, shortly after this happens, he ends up back in jail and then eventually back into federal prison. And one of his girlfriends is out on the street still trying to sell all of these Verizon phones and everything else. This recording I found interesting because he's talking about how he's broke and how he had to sell his phone and like all of this other stuff. And it's like, but wait a minute, like you're not broke. So let me throw this up real quick.
Well, I switched phone carriers. I went to Verizon because I got a better deal with them.
Yeah, Verizon has a no contract plan, $50 a month.
Well, I'm not. No, I set up a business account with my company.
Oh, right on.
So they give me a $15,000 spending limit.
Holy shit. Good job. Now you need to buy a car.
Huh?
Now you need to buy a car.
I have a car.
Good.
T-Mobile fucked me hard, dude, and like I owe them over. They racked up my bill over like $750.
Holy shit.
And I said, fuck you guys. So before, because I knew my phone bill like was due, and I couldn't fucking afford $750. I could barely pay mine. So I was like, all right, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
So I went over to Verizon, and I was like, hey, I own a company and I have an EIN number and everything else like that. Like, can we try to set up a business account? And they're like, yeah. So we set up a business account, and they approved me for a $15,000 credit limit. And
See, things are looking up. What'd you buy?
I got the iPhone 15 Plus.
No, you said you bought a car. You can do your business with it, right?
My buddy actually gave me a van.
Nice. So are you sleeping in it or using it for work?
No, I mean, I took all the seats out. I got a different job. I actually work for Elite Insulation and Solar. I deliver insulation all over the state.
That is awesome. I am so proud of you.
Heck yeah.
See, once you stopped doing those thingies, things started looking up.
Yeah. I got people in the car, and let's not talk about that. So am I allowed to like come and visit you?
I don't see why. I don't see why not.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The
Well,
house
maybe
is a
I'll,
mess.
I don't care. I'm not worried about that. Maybe I'll stop by like tomorrow or something.
Okay.
If you're okay with that, maybe I can take you out to coffee or for something like that.
Yeah, call first.
But yeah, maybe I take you to a coffee or something, get some breakfast.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, it's good hearing from you. And like I said, I didn't give you my new number. Like, that number I called you from last time was a text now number. It's just because all the shit was going on.
Wasn't this like the first conversation that you had with him after he moved out of the house?
No, the first one that I had with him was me apologizing to him on the phone. I'm so sorry the way I threw you out. I was so mad and I really said some things I shouldn't have. No, this one here was probably, I'm going to say 3 weeks after I threw him out. What was the date on this one?
I think this one was in March also.
Okay, yeah, he was gone. He was gone from my house on January 21st.
Yeah.
So
Hair Curlers and Crime here says, didn't Brandon say they all went to a pawn shop, bought iPads? Sounds like they all had that game down. They were recycling them and not paying with bill. Yeah, he did say that. There has been talk about, buying iPads or something. I believe they were at a pawn shop buying an iPad or something the day Michael came up missing, if I remember correctly. Please don't quote me on that, but from what I remember, I'm pretty sure that they went, it was Sarah, Adrian, and Brandon.
yeah, Stacy had to do something for money because he wasn't doing YouTubes anymore. And the Verizon credit that he got, it wasn't for cash. So he had to buy things saying it was for employees or something in order to sell them to get money. I can't imagine what his credit score is. Oh my God.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, how did he pay his loan back and get all that 15,000 paid for? Laura
Wow.
B says here, I'm just gonna say I haven't liked Eve for a long time. She has been spewing crap in the past, even after suspects were named, and still blaming Monkey's parents. Yep,
Yeah.
she has talked not so good about Brandy and Tyler quite a few times. And she's stuck on this babysitter that was there at the house.
Yeah. And I will say that the creator that I worked with, it's nobody that you guys know. This was a very low key thing. And yeah, so anybody can guess if they want to, but it's not anybody that you guys would really know. So.
Nicole, that's great. Let the creator's name that starts with an E allow Stacy babysitter kids and call me in the morning.
That's like that, that's like that room I have for rent for him, next to the shed under the barbecue pit. Yeah.
All right. So we're just going to keep moving on through these. Yeah, we've got quite a few left here. I'm trying to get to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you, moderators, for showing up. I see you, AV. Thank you for being here. It's so awesome that you're here, and no worries that you're late. Everybody can be late. I am a procrastinator sometimes and don't show up for even doctor's appointments until a little late. Don't forget about the pinned Amazon wish list for the Vaughan family for Christmas. You can say a prayer for free, or you can, if you can, and you have the money to spare, click the link and get the kids something for Christmas. And let me throw up a banner again real quick. If you know anything about the suspects in this case, Stacey Wondra, Sarah Wondra, Brandon Shurtleff, or Adrian Lucian, if you know anything about them regarding Michael Monkey Vaughan's case or what happened to him in the abduction, then please call the tip line in Fruitland. Please. It is so important to give them a call. No tip is ever too small. That telephone number is 208-642-6006, or you can email findmichael@fruitland.org. And if you guys are just coming in, this is Hot Mess. She was Stacey Wondra's roommate, and she's here just exposing some truth that's never really been talked about, proven, what she experienced during her 5-day experience with Stacy living in her home until she found out from a neighbor that Stacey Wondra was a suspect in the Michael Vaughan case. She has done quite a few things, searching for Monkey, and hanging out with the bikers that also did a ride for Michael after he came up missing. And we're going to show some videos of her and some stuff that she did later on. Right now, I'm going to show a video, and it is a conversation about Hot Messes Day with Stacey Wondra at the casino in Ontario, Oregon.
Hello.
Hey, Trouble.
Who's this?
Stacy.
And for a second, I thought it was Z.
Oh, no, it's me.
Oh. What phone are you using now?
I sold my phone because I needed money.
Oh my God.
You want to meet me in Ontario?
Why do I want to go to Ontario?
Well, I was gonna put gas in your tank, and I would treat you to some lunch and play a couple bucks in the machine over there. That'll be on me.
In the machine? What machine?
Don't you know Ontario's a gambling state, right? Oregon's a gambling state. Idaho isn't.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You know, in Idaho, to gamble is outside of Pocatello at the BRANDI casino. You're gonna go play a couple $100 and walk out of there with $1,000. I just know how to gamble. I know how to play live game or slot machines.
I know.
So I seen if you wanted to join me, and I put gas in the truck, take you out to lunch. And,
I can do that. That actually kind of sounds like fun.
well, meet me at the Denny's in Ontario. I'm almost there, so.
Oh, God. Well, let me get dressed and stuff.
Well, hurry up, slacker.
Well, I thought you were wanting a ride out there.
No. Have you meet me out there.
Okay.
I said I'm going to put gas in your truck, and then I'll grab you a bite to eat at Denny's or something over there.
Okay.
So yeah, go get dressed and then head out to Ontario. And then when you get there, we'll play it a little bit, and then I'll get some gas and get you some lunch.
Okay.
We'll kind of make it a little fun day.
All right.
Sounds good. Well, just let me know
Okay.
when you're headed out that way, and I'll be at the Denny's in Ontario.
Okay. All right. I will. All right. I've only got a little bit of gas, so.
That's fine. I'll get you covered.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, Trudy.
Okay.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
I couldn't add the music to this because it would have, said
Copyright.
YouTube would have said, yeah, YouTube would have said something to me. But he's sitting there jamming out to some music as they're sitting there in the casino. You can kind of hear the chips that he's playing with, and that all the other guys, he talked about going over there to hit some couple machines. Was that a poker table? Do you know?
Yes.
Is that what he was sitting there playing poker?
He said he was the best at poker and blackjack.
Yeah. And then he could take a few bucks and turn it into 1,000. I thought that was hilarious because, some people are good at gambling. To me, it's a waste of your money. You're either going to win or you're going to lose. But, he's talking about selling his Verizon phone to get some money because he's broke. And then he takes that money. He goes over there. He takes you out to lunch. So he's spending money. He's putting gas in your truck. So he's spending money. And you said he blew all the money that he had and was angry and pissed off that he lost everything.
He wasn't as angry and pissed off as he was disappointed in himself, and you could tell he was upset. But yeah, he had probably 3 beers while he was there, and I had one. I don't really drink, but it took me like an hour and a half to drink one. But yeah, he was not happy. You could tell by his body language and his tone of his voice, he was not happy.
Jesse here says that I appreciate Hot Mess or how Hot Mess didn't try to encourage any violations. Seemed to have called and just wanted her involvement or to vent to. Great job, Hot Mess. And I agree. It didn't ever sound like you ever encouraged him to do drugs, to go to Oregon, to anything. You were just recording, and if something by chance was something you could use, that's what got sent in. So we really all appreciate it. And ICU asked a little bit earlier if you knew whether or not Stacy had any weapons or firearms or anything while he was living at your house.
Living with me, I never saw anything. He wanted to take a look at my guns one day, and I told him that I wasn't going to pull them out. He does know about my handgun because I always had it on me. So,
Yeah, which he wasn't supposed to be around anybody or guns or that
right.
had any guns or living with anybody where there was guns either. So there's
Yeah.
also that.
There was
Here,
another question someone put on there about, did he talk about Brandon or Adrian to me? There
yeah,
were
that was the next question
conversations,
I was
but
going to ask you.
yeah, I can't reflect on those because those conversations went to Fruitland.
Yeah, and we do have a couple of recordings of him talking about Adrian and Brandon that
I have
we
permission
can
to share
do.
those, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to go up here. Let's see. Yep, we heard that one. If Kelly is harmed in any way, we will all know Stacy wouldn't dare. So
Exactly.
um oh no, we're not done. There's lots to talk about. Just letting you know. Well, there's lots here tonight to talk about.
Yeah, and I'm not doing any of this for publicity or attention because honestly, I live very quiet. I want attention brought to the public that this man is out there and that he will try to finagle his way into your life. And I wanted to also show that he's a liar on a lot of things that he has said on all these other YouTubes. And here's the recordings contradicting the things that he said.
Exactly. Thank you, for that too. Crime Sleuthen. Hey girlfriend, thank you for coming. She's just pointing out that Eve gave him money, paid for his hotel, sent him food, YouTubers, helped him get back into the Google account and more. The disgust was clearly warranted. Keep exposing. He needs to fess up. And I couldn't agree with you more. Not only are we exposing him for his lies, but we are also able to put out new content, which brings viewers in. And those viewers aren't because I want clout or that Hot Mess wants clout. Viewers mean that people are paying attention to Michael Monkey Vaughan. And that's what we're supposed to be doing right now, is bringing awareness to Michael because BRANDI asked us to. The family has asked us to because she is sick. That's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why I've been live for the third time in a week. And I normally go weeks and weeks without lives, or every other week, or before once a week. So we're out here putting out new content for those in the back. I appreciate you, Jesse, for coming in. Nice to see you here. Nicole, thank you for coming. Thank you again, mods, for being here. Thank you guys, everybody that is here to support Michael Monkey Vaughan. We've got some blue hearts up. Thank you guys. ICU wants to know, did he ever talk to you about Michael's case at all? Maybe you don't have to go into like any specifics that he may have told you, but just maybe answer whether, he ever talked about Michael or his case or anything.
He did. I asked him, I said, all right, now tell me, how did you get involved with all of this? Because I was instructed to get him to open up, get comfortable. And he did say quite a lot. So, I mean,
Good.
what I was able to share with you, I did. But also if other YouTubers are going to take my videos and lives with you and tear them apart, good. more viewers for you that know about Michael. Michael
Yeah,
is slipping away in the community, and the community needs to be woke up.
all right. So we are now going to be talking, or this is a recording regarding his probation officer telling Hot Mess everything that happened when he went in and talked to his probation officer.
I meet with my deal every Tuesday. Well, she was like, well, I need you to come in the office today and we'll discuss you going to move over to Idaho Falls to work with your boss. So I said, okay. So I go in there, and as soon as I get in there, she's like, okay, I need your phone, and I need you to do a UA. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Why?
So, why do they want me to?
Yeah, because you're supposed to be on that color thing, right?
I am, but the probation office still has the right to request a UA at any time, even though I don't get the UAs directly.
Okay.
But so I did a UA, and fucking seems like the PO is like, because the guy has to do the UA,
Right.
and they go, so you're doing methamphetamine, huh? And I said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I never used meth.
Oh my
Never
God.
fucked a day in my life. He goes, really? He goes, I said, yeah, I promise. I don't ever fuck with that shit. Knowing I did. And he goes, well, we can just send it off to the lab. And I'm like, you still just don't want to admit up to it? And I said, all right, fine.
Did you?
I was going through a rough time. And so I got
Good.
I admitted to it, and he fucking, Selena came in, and she goes, that's my PO. And she goes, I need an admission form. He goes, okay. So I signed the admission of, substance use. And,
They're not going to violate you, are they?
oh, yeah, they're violating. I got 10 violations.
Oh.
Well, it's a violation, but what happens is, so my PO automatically arrest me like they can on state probation. If you violated and you go see your PO on state probation, you're in violation, they legally have the right to remand you to the custody right there. But on federal probation, the way it works is if my PO, she has to get an order from, I tried telling them that, and I was like, look, but it showed up in the UA, I mean, it's the only thing that showed up on a positive was meth.
Okay.
I just had a slip up. I was depressed, County. I can go to Idaho Falls or wherever I need to go to work, but I just have to still live in Ada County.
Okay.
So I allergies.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, they're minor, you know what I mean? They're minors, and I was like, well, I don't really feel like mine should be reported, and I didn't think anything of it. Well, I guess she wanted, you know what I mean? Okay, well, who's at that residence? Who's all there, etc. Well, I reported everybody that was there except the kids because I was like, okay, well, they're minor, you know what I mean? They're minors, and at that residence. At the house on Robert Street where I was renting. Well, I paid a room deposit to hold the room until March 20th when he was going to have the room available. So Selena a couple of weeks ago asked me, okay, well, who's at that residence? Who's all there, etc. Well, I reported everybody that was there except the kids because I was like, okay, well, they're minor, you know what I mean? They're minors, and I was like, well, I don't really feel like mine should be reported, and I didn't think anything of it. Well, I guess she wanted everybody that was in the house, and so I didn't tell her that. So she punished me. She's like, well, because you failed to tell me who all was living there, you can no longer be around or go to that residence. I'm like, well, fuck, okay.
They were minors. Well, it's federal though. It's federal paroles.
I'm like, adoptive parents, yeah, that's who my
No,
mom is.
no, you're
fucking UA. So she ended up taking my phone. I was in there for 3 fucking hours, dude, meeting with her. She took my phone, and then at the end of the session, she comes in, she goes, okay, well, you're going to have to come back and get your phone tomorrow. So at the same time, I had plans on Monday to go deliver insulation to my boss. So my boss was going to send me money to go rent a Home Depot there.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Dude, she was a total cunt.
Wow.
So by the way, she knew that I went to Ontario.
How?
Somebody fucking reported me going to.
Who else knew besides you and I?
I have no fucking idea, but somebody called her or made a report that I was in Ontario. Somebody recognized me somehow or some way, made the report to her. She goes, "Do you want to tell me, about any out-of-state travel?" And I said, "Yeah, I went to Ontario once."
Yeah, so I just want to send out some love and some prayers to Crime Sleuthen. She has pneumonia, and so does some of her babies. I don't know if that's kids and grandbabies, but Cinnamon's praying here. Yaya's praying for you here. I'm praying for you, hon. I'm so sorry that you got pneumonia. And you just reminded me, I got a phone call today from my daughter. I talked about her and I've been asking for prayers for her that she's dealing with this life-threatening infection. She's only been home for a little while and she's headed back to the hospital again in Seattle. And she is really having to advocate for herself, people. She is not liking that she has to go back to the same hospital. Nobody else will see her because of the procedures and stuff that she's already had done there. Nobody else wants to even deal with what's going on with this infection. And she's going to be asking for social services there at the hospital to advocate with her to find out exactly what is wrong with her. The infection is in her neck and it has, it's just done a lot to the family. She's been in and out of the hospital a little over 3 weeks. So we're going on the 4th week here. She's been staying in the hospital. My son-in-law's missing work. Her kids are missing her at home. So, if you guys could say a few prayers for her also, I would really, really appreciate it. And so, yeah, I mean, and it is the season for the flu and stuff too. I mean, so everybody is sick. KB says, I'm wondering, are they looking for this guy? And why haven't they arrested any of the people? We are all wondering the same damn thing. Can tell you that.
Yeah, the main thing that I was trying to find out from him mainly was, where do you go camping, fishing spots? Where's a good place for my dogs to go running in the middle? I was hoping that, he would lead me to areas that maybe Fruitland didn't know about. So.
Yeah, and I mean, and in that entire conversation, he admits to lying to his probation officer because he was trying to say that he didn't, I haven't done any meth. I don't know why it came up. And he was like, even though I know I had, and we just played the recording of him talking about actually doing, the drugs. And, you were good at sending, he had to leave his phone with the probation officer. And you had sent him a picture of him gambling to his phone, and the probation officer could have gotten that off of there.
It was a picture of him and I standing in front of the place. We had some stranger take our picture, and I sent it to Stacy on purpose because he didn't know about the video or the phone call. If the PO ever had the drug thingy, or because the drug thing was the day before. So I knew the PO was going to call him in, and I needed the PO to have proof that he was in Ontario without it making me look guilty of information.
Right. Well, we just heard that he called you and asked you to go over there, so you weren't provoking anything. I kind of giggled a little bit when you didn't know you didn't even know what he was talking about when he mentioned going over there to gamble and put a couple bucks in the slot. So, yeah,
Yep.
good for you.
And I'm not
Good
that stupid. So
we got prayers for everybody coming in. I know my daughter might be watching So she really appreciates, and she's grateful and thankful for all your prayers too. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's just very telling to hear like all of this. It really, you're getting to know Stacey Wondra and the inside of him trying to play his game. I mean, because we've spoken many, 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 many times about how um he goes
twists
into
and lies.
jail. Yeah, well, he twists and lies. He goes in and out of prison. He goes in and out of jail. He's constantly released. He doesn't do what he's supposed to. When he does get released, he gets his violations and everything. It's reoccurring. And this is a violent criminal that's constantly let out on the street. And if way back in the early day when he was staying at that Montana facility, if that facility wouldn't have shut down and not found placement, if they would have just found placement actually for Stacy when he got out, he may not have ended up back on the streets and doing what he's doing now. And maybe Monkey would still be here. Maybe the abduction wouldn't have happened because we don't know the inside of the scoop. And that's what we're trying to find out. So you have any tips about Stacey Wondra, Sarah Wondra, Adrian Lucian, or Brandon Shirtliff, we need you to call the tip line at 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. That's what we need. That's what cracks cases is tips. People that have information they may have been sitting on the last 3 or so years that just haven't come out because they're scared. Well, you can do it anonymously.
Just
And
like
if you're
I had found that one gentleman, it turns out that well, I can't tell you how, but it turns out that this gentleman had information that could have been or is what I don't know what all he told Fruitland, but he told me something and I sent him to the detective and he did go.
Yep. I
So
mean, and that's all we want. We want people going in and turning in any information. It can be, even a secondhand conversation. Maybe somebody told you something that a suspect told you. If you go down and you give that tip, law enforcement may be able to verify it. So it's still really important for you to talk. You got to, if you know something, say something. Tip line for Fruitland Police again is 208-642-6006, or you can email at findmichael@fruitland.org.
and like I was saying, this kid that talked to me, he didn't know he had information until he called Fruitland and they were able to put timelines and certain things together. So when he went down there, he had information he had no idea he knew. You
Right.
never know when you have something.
Exactly. And Yaya, yes, he thinks he is the victim. He thinks he's the victim so much that he decided that he was going to write a letter. Well, it was his lawsuit, write it from federal prison, mind you, when he was up here in SeaTac, Washington, right out of Seattle, and sue for $80 million. Fruitland Police, the state of Idaho, he wants to sue everybody. He even threatened Brooks from Crime Lines and Lies here recently that he wants to sue YouTubers, sue her, start cease and desist letters to people and everything else. You know what, Stacy? We're all waiting for it. We want that lawsuit. Come on. You'll have to talk about Michael. So if you want to come after me for putting some stuff up, you can do that. I'm willing to take the risk. I'm broke. You probably ain't gonna get nothing out of me. Uh-oh, you dropped me. You
I
dropped
did.
us.
Are you okay? Is your head okay? I just
I need a
heard
little bit of I need a little bit of bump on my head just to wake my ass up or something, I swear.
No, my dogs are giving me the signal that somebody just pulled up, so I gotta look out the window.
You have no idea who that is.
Oh well.
KB is as frustrated as Michael's parents, and the rest of us. She's just wondering, or he's wondering for some time what is going on with the case. And I do not get why these people are not behind bars praying for answers. This case breaks my heart for BRANDI and for Tyler. Agreed. We're all a little, we're waiting on the DA. Fruitland is trying to do their job. They are trying to collect all of the evidence that they possibly can for Michael's case. They have turned over information, I want to say a couple of times. I don't know, because information given to the grand jury or information given usually isn't out there for us to know, but the DA's not jumping on it. So we just need to pray that the DA read some of this evidence or something and just, decides to hop on it, start putting out indictments and arresting people before something else, violent happens from one of these suspects. And the suspects in the case are Stacey Wondra, Sarah Wondra, Brandon Shirtliff, and Adrian Lucian. And we're going to talk about something really important here. I'm going to let Hot Mess get comfortable.
Sorry, I had to go switch the dogs around. Oh, thanks, guy. Thank you so much. Stop. You made me drop my safety thing here for just in case anybody I don't want shows up. Watch out.
Well, don't let that be seen on my YouTube, because then they're not going to let the thank you.
Absolutely not. That rule I do know.
Pictures of the pews or even showing pews on YouTube is a big fat no. So
yeah, no. Stop.
This
dog wanting to get involved here.
This next recording that we want to show is listen closely. It's a little bit of a conversation. He says a lot, but in this conversation, he talks and admits that he got a hold of Fruitland and had them come to the prison when he gave his tip. And it totally contradicts everything that he has said before, including being interrogated and so upset and, that I finally just gave in and gave them what they wanted from me. And then we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Somebody, hypothetically, from a long time ago that might have been buried, there's something. I mean, it doesn't even have to be buried. You know what I mean? Like, it could be just somebody sight at that house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just, cadaver dogs are 100% accurate. Somehow, some way, because Sarah and I had a heart to help people, we're somehow caught up in the middle of nothing. And here's the thing, though, the way I'm seeing it, if they're gonna fucking charge me, let them charge me. Because I guarantee you, when I take it to fucking trial, and I fucking win, I'm gonna walk out of the courtroom, and I'm gonna smile at them.
Well,
Fucking walk out, dude.
they got a phone call from Brandon at the house saying that you guys were involved. Brandon is the one that made the phone call.
I would have heard something like this. That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
The law enforcement came and talked to me because I asked them to.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys hear that? Law enforcement came and talked to me because I asked them to. I don't know where Hot Mess came or is. She dropped off. So Hot Mess, if you hear me, hop back on. I'm going to replay what he just said right here so that everybody can hear it again. He is admitting to contacting law enforcement and having them come to the prison. There you are. I see you. I'll add you in just a second, hon. Let's replay this real quick. Listen up.
I would have heard something like this. That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
The law enforcement came and talked to me because I asked them to.
Oh, okay.
No. That Brandon, because I asked them to.
Oh, okay.
No. That
You guys were involved. Brandon is the one that made the phone call.
I would have heard something like this. That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
The law enforcement came and talked to me because I asked them to.
Oh, okay.
No, that Brandon. Here's the thing. So I talk to Eve like on a daily, and Eve has gone over every fucking police call.
You talk to her now?
I talk to Eve every day.
Oh, okay.
She's like a good friend.
Okay.
Like she's, you know what I mean? So she literally has gone over every police call from 2 days before to the day after Michael's experience.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that tails into, to the times that I've been in jail. And there's never been a police call from Brandon.
Okay.
Saying that there was a fault.
So who does Eve think did it, Brandon?
She thinks Dad did it. With all the case research that she's done.
Yeah.
And, just, you know, the way Tyler acts and shit like that, when Brandon goes to those fucking interview meetings. Eve has proven documentation that he failed two retina polygraph tests.
Yeah, Tyler passed his retina test, by the way. That is
I know.
False information there. What's crazy is that he totally contradicts himself. He has said on Eve's show that the information that he gave law enforcement was a false confession, that it wasn't true. 36 minutes into her live that she did tonight, she says that Stacy told her that he was interrogated for 4 to 5 days. The story doesn't add up. He called law enforcement to come in because he wanted to make a deal. He wanted out of prison. And that's the only reason why he did it. And he thought that Michael's body was going to be there when they got there. And that's, you know, what he thought. And it wasn't. So
Now, I couldn't send you the rest of that conversation and stuff like that. There is a whole lot more to that phone call. But
it was actually there. I just took it all out. I took all the information out there because I'm not going to allow Stacey Wondra to talk shit about BRANDI and Tyler and Eve, you know, believing that Tyler and no, that's not going to happen here.
But he had told Brooks or whoever it was, I got so tired of being interrogated that I told him he was buried in the backyard. No, Ellie came back, you know, at his will for 2 or 3 days, and they talked to him. They never drilled and interrogated him. They came back on 3 different occasions in those days and talked to Stacy. And this is what he verbally said to me, but yeah, that stuff I can't really share, but that part I can. He called Ellie and it wasn't all day long interrogations. It was, a couple hours. All right, we'll come back tomorrow. Let us verify this. So, yeah.
And I just want to throw something up because I'm pretty sure I have it still. Let me look real quick. I may not. Just let me look. Hold on 1 second. Because Tyler and BRANDI are not suspects in Michael Vaughn's case. Okay? Fruitland police probably had to question them, bring them in, do what they have to do, just like they have to do in any child missing case or abduction, make sure family members aren't involved. That is standard procedure. Okay? Now, Fruitland has been working with BRANDI and Tyler to find Michael and bring him home. Let me see here. Let me throw this one up first, and then I'll throw another one up. Well, no, I found the one I was looking for. I'll throw that up first. So this, to me, just kind of proves the Vaughn's innocence and the way that they work with Fruitland, how they are not suspects, how they've never been named as suspects, nor will they ever be named as suspects in Michael Vaughn's case. Here we go.
Of this week, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue with specialty canines and the Fruitland Police Department conducted searches in the front and backyards of nearly all the homes on Southwest 9th Street. Remember that a criminal investigation, that happened at the same time of notification as the time that Michael went missing. And due to the fact that we've conducted multiple searches using every tool available to us with no success, it increases the possibility that Michael was abducted. We also want to emphasize Michael's family, who continues to be fully cooperative, working closely with us on almost a daily basis.
I want to thank the Fruitland Police Department, the state, FBI. I want to thank all of them for their continued support. They have become family, and they are his son too.
To the Vaughan family, this has been an extremely long and emotional road. You don't walk that road alone, right? So I could never fathom how you and your family have suffered. However, I assure you that the Fruitland Police Department will continue to earnestly investigate this case, and everyone here today is a part of your community and a part of your family. We will never stop looking. You need to know that. And I also have joining us today the mother of Michael Joseph Vaughan, BRANDI NEAL. Thanks for being here with us today. We appreciate you.
Whoever has Michael or knows anything and has information about Michael, please come forward. We need him home. We need our baby. Please. Thank you to the community and extended communities that continue to support our family, and law enforcement, all of the agencies that are helping to bring Michael home. They stand strong, and they stand with us, and we stand with them. So if you are seeing this, please, if you know something, please, if you know anything, please say something. You can be anonymous. There's so many avenues. Please, everyone, help us get Michael home. And Monkey, we love you, baby. You're coming home. None of us are going to give up, I promise. Thank you all for being here today.
We stand with BRANDI and Tyler Vaughan and the rest of their family. We are Michael's army. We will never, ever, ever, ever stop fighting for justice for him. We are going to support BRANDI when she asks us all to help bring awareness while she's sick. You can also, click that link up above. Help the Vaughans have a great Christmas. It's an Amazon. I've been talking about it. So click that link at the pinned at the top and help a family in need. They're struggling. We know they're struggling. So yeah, we just disagree, and so does Fruitland Police, and that's just quite obvious. So to say anything other is just ridiculous. I have another video I want to throw up real quick regarding Tyler, because it's he's done a couple of interviews and stuff, but this is one of the ones that isn't showed very often, and it just talks about how guilty Tyler feels.
You're killing me, girl.
I'm curious why, if you were the one at home, why you haven't done a lot of talking with the media. What's your response to people who want to know that question?
Because I was the one at home. I feel like because I was the responsible party. I don't like being in the public eye at all, and it's because I, to some extent blame myself.
Tyler has felt guilty for a very long time, and I hope that someday will go away for him. We're always praying for you, Tyler, sending you our love for that. And, he doesn't go out into the public eye and stuff. And that's the reason why, you know, if you were the parent on watch when all of that happened, you may not be able to get in front of anybody and talk. I mean, Brandy herself has a hard time getting up there and talking, but she does it. You know, we just have to keep fighting and helping the family. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to help bring justice for Monkey. Wanda Cuddle has a question. I have a question. Aren't the people who were last with the child suspects until the child is brought home? I am just asking because I see that in other cases. Let me read this to myself real quick so I can comprehend what you're asking. Are the people who were last with the child suspects until the child is brought home? Yeah, usually they are. But the thing is they have proof that Michael was abducted. They know he was abducted. He fits the criteria for being abducted. And Chris Madonna has worked on this case from the Cold Case Foundation. And yeah, in this case, and in all cases, usually the last person that the child's seen with, and even then, the family members, because an abduction is not the majority. An abduction only usually happens 6%, 5-6%. When a child goes missing, it's usually got something to do with a family member or a family friend or somebody that the child knew. So in this case, with it being a stranger abduction, is what Fruitland Police has said, an abduction.
Plus, Tyler was there with the other kids. He ordered pizza. You know, the one son was playing Nintendo. The baby was sleeping.
Yeah. And he, Chris Madonna even put out there in a video that he did, and I would have everybody go over there and watch it. He did an amazing job. He had an entire interview with Tyler. And in that, Chris Madonna talks about and mentions the fact that CTV sees Tyler out looking for Michael. And at the time that Michael came up missing and the time of the 911 phone call, the phone call that he made to Brandy at her work and him out searching for Monkey, he had no time to, he had no time to hurt Michael and then proceed to, like getting rid of him and then still going through with all of these phone calls and everything else, and then being there when law enforcement did show up. There was no time for it. There's just no time at all. And they have 4 suspects. Their names are Stacey Wondra, Sarah Wondra, Adrian Lucian, and Brandon Shirtliff. And they've even said maybe there's other suspects out there. So maybe there is other suspects out there, but what we need are people to come forward and talk about it, because that is what is going to bring in the tips needed and crack this case wide open. And you need to call the Fruitland Police Department at 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org and bring in those tips. You can remain anonymous, but Fruitland needs you. Michael needs you. The Vaughan family needs you. Let's do everything we can. If you know something, say something. So, yeah, I wanted to just show everybody how close the Vaughan family is to Fruitland Police. They are working hard in this case. Brandy and Tyler are either talking to or going to Fruitland at least every day or every other day. They're constant communication, even after 3 years. Okay. So usually, after a while, the police stations, yeah, you stay in contact. You may hear from him, at first it's once a week, it's every couple of weeks, then it might fall to a month, and then it might fall to every 2 to 6 months. Who knows? But after 3 years, they're still talking every day or every other day to Fruitland Police. So they do not consider Brandy and Tyler suspects. Yes, Connie, yeah. No tip is too small.
Plus, if you look at all these cases in the past and in the present, parents that they know did something to the child, those parents aren't running to the police department, 1, 2, 3, 4 times a week to keep the case under investigation. Those parents want to be as low key as possible. BRANDI wants to be right up in the middle of their face to make sure they remember to keep looking for evidence. Same thing with Tyler.
Last year she was hanging up flyers in the middle of winter time.
Yep.
And her feet and everything were sore because they got so friggin' cold. When Michael first came up missing, I've been told that she would spend nights sometimes out on her porch waiting for Michael to come home. It's just, when the evidence is out there, when law enforcement has speaked on it, to even get on your channel and disrespect law enforcement, talk bad about them, or making it even look like, they're not doing their job or that they don't care, that is not bringing, that's not good for Michael's case. Because we don't want to convince people that Fruitland isn't doing their damn job when they have been for over 3 years. It's ridiculous. So with that all being said, we are now going to talk about some other recordings that Hot Mess has shared. And let's see. Let me get rid of this one because I have everything kind of put out in order here. Stacy sits down and is talking in Hot Mess's house with one of his girlfriends and discussing the case. And he just mentions a lot of random stuff in this recording. So let's take a listen.
Remember I was telling you about the whole thing with the Michael Vaughan, the missing kid? Yeah, these YouTubers, because they had my phone number, my old phone number, they decided they were going to take it upon themselves and hack into my old phone, the whole phone, not just by my phone number. They hacked into the whole phone. They took all of my photos, all of my contacts, and shared them on YouTube.
No kidding.
Yeah, on live, mind you, with all other viewers.
What did you have on your videos and stuff?
I had naked pictures of Sarah. Oh no! So what happened was, I did a couple of YouTube videos, right, to try to clear my name, just to kind of give people, my side of the story of what happened that night. So what happens is when you do a video with one person on a podcaster, right? So what happens is other podcasters, even though I didn't do video or lives with them, what happens is they can go steal that video that I did with that podcaster. So that's what they did. And they can do a spin-off of my story into a nightmare, dude. Like, oh my god, it's horrible. I don't even fuck with them anymore. Like, I blocked every fucking podcaster. I don't even talk to them. Like, the only way I'm going to get my name cleared is through law enforcement. They're not good people at all.
Sometimes the cops aren't either, so...
Oh, no.
They probably,
Oh, yeah. I want to see what they think they have, because I guarantee you they don't got shit on me. Because if they had shit on me, they would have already indicted me.
Well, maybe they're trying to get more, so that's what they're trying to do. I didn't know you were doing that on here. You shouldn't have done that.
I did it twice.
I told him.
I did it twice, and that's 2 times too much, though.
Did you guys even know the kid?
No! His criminal history with human trafficking?
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and we didn't know anything. We don't... Huh?
You were hanging out with people that...
No, we didn't know. It's not like we did a background check. So remember we were telling you how we let Adrian stay with us? Sarah called me one day, said she picked up this guy for a taxi ride.
Yeah, he's just on the phone talking about all kinds of stuff, calling Adrian a sex trafficker, which he's actually thrown out the before. Yaya says, Stacy, you just called Brooks. You're a monster. He just called Brooks? I'm just wondering. He
That was
confessed.
his aunt. He was in my living room talking on the phone with his aunt.
Aunt, yeah. So there was a problem with labeling the one with Brady and the aunt. So that was my bad. That was his aunt on the phone. That was not the girlfriend in the living room. We've actually got that one next. But what I noticed is he's throwing Adrian's name out there again. Here recently, we heard him talking to Brooks on Crime Lines and Lies, and he said out loud, I'm going to protect Sarah and Brandon. I have no problem doing it. So that's what he's doing. We don't know why he's trying to protect them right now. Why are you trying to protect Sarah and Brandon, Stacy?
Yeah,
come
but
tell
not
us.
on the rest of that recording with his aunt. He wasn't protecting Brandon or
Yeah.
Sarah at all. But I couldn't send you that.
Yeah. So, we just have to, keep putting the pressure where pressure is needed. This is the telephone, or this is actually the conversation, I think, with the roommate. So let me just add this. Hopefully, I didn't add the same thing and labeled it wrong. We'll see. Let's see.
But then I found out from the detectives that the Adrian guy had a history.
And how did you know?
I didn't. I found out from the detectives.
I heard you say that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know anything. Like, it just made no sense. You know what I mean? Like, there's the only way I think, and it doesn't make like, I want to see what evidence they think they have against me, because I guarantee you that boy was never in any of the vehicles I've driven. He was never even transported. Huh?
They checked your entire backyard.
Exactly.
Checked your vehicles.
Exactly. Hey, Carrie, hold on 1 second, okay? Like, Sarah and I, we stuck to our neighborhood. This little...
Well, it was
They
the
were
same
not.
recording.
Yeah, but they were not able to search all of his vehicles because, mind you, this is a year later. Vehicles had been repossessed, towed away. They searched what they could find, but not all vehicles were searched.
Well, I mean, the way that he was just talking about, oh my gosh, what did he just say? I almost wrote it down and then I did it, and now I wish I did, because I wanted to talk about it. He was talking about Michael. I'm going to just play it again. Hold up.
Clear across the other side of the neighborhood. Because I guarantee you that boy was never in any of the vehicles I've driven. He was never even transported. Huh?
They checked your entire backyard. I heard you say that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know anything. Like, it just made no sense. You know what I mean? Like, there's the only way I think, and it doesn't make like, I want to see what evidence they think they have.
Yeah, it was just him talking about that, because he doesn't say Michael's name. That boy was never, ever in one of the vehicles,
He never says his name.
Yeah, I have never looked into like whether or not vehicles were searched, if one was searched, if many were searched, or what. I don't have any of that information. I've looked into it just a tiny bit, but never really found anything. I've never heard it mentioned even on other YouTube channels or anything, so I do not know at all whether
Plus,
or not
he's
that.
sitting there telling his aunt. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, AV here was just saying, like, never even been transported. Like, he makes it sound like, I don't know. And that's what I was thank you, AV. You're taking the words out of my mouth.
Luggage.
Yeah,
It makes Michael sound like luggage.
never even transported. The way he words that, I mean, he could have said anything like Michael was never in our vehicles or in our cars or anything, but never even transported. I mean, he's so used to, maybe they're so used to transporting drugs or whatever that he decided to use the word transported, because we all know that a lot of people have speculated on whether or not, they were doing that with this taxi service, or whether or not sex trafficking was involved. A lot of people have speculated about that. I'm just saying. So, yeah, his name is Michael. Stacy. Michael, not the boy or that boy. In all of his interviews, when he was on YouTube going around from one to another and everything else, yeah, he never ever, would say his name.
I kept pushing and pushing on pretending, say his name. And I think there was, it's disrespectful. But I don't think BRANDI wants to hear her son's name come out of his mouth anyway. So.
True that. Exactly. Won't say his name, but puts his beautiful picture on his Facebook like a trophy. Yeah. Or Sarah doing her TikToks with Michael's poster on the refrigerator. Did she do that on purpose, or was it just there? And if she had anything to do with Michael's abduction, like what law enforcement has put out there, how could she sit there and look at that flyer just sitting on her fridge? How could Stacy just sit and look at that profile picture sitting on his Facebook? It just make it make sense, okay? Make sense. And you can't, because they're lying about everything. Yeah, disgusting and disrespectful. Y'all's anxiety is going crazy because of his voice. I am right there with you. Disassociating himself with Michael, absolutely. Disassociating himself completely, and still trying to play the victim always. So I have another couple videos that I want to show, and then we can sit around and talk for a little bit afterwards. These are just a couple of things that Hot Mess has done in recordings that she had sent to me. I kind of fast forwarded this one because it was a little bit long, but here is Hot Mess walking around, wandering around Stacy's new van, trying to get the license plate number and stuff, I believe, for law enforcement. Here it is. There's no sound to it. He gets this new van. It was given to him. He's with his girlfriend. He was sleeping in this van at one point and stuff. And Hot Mess comes out. And then right here where I slow it down, she stops. And she's turning her phone on to start a recording so that she can get the license plate.
Voice record.
Oh, I had you say that.
This part of the video is off my security cameras.
So yeah, this is just her collecting some information. She's going back and playing with this back windshield wiper and stuff just to be able to be back there by those license plates, get the tags and stuff. So thank you so much for, you're putting yourself at risk now. You were putting yourself at risk then, even hanging around a violent criminal after you knew who he was. You didn't want him in your house anymore. You didn't want to even be around him, but you put yourself through a lot to get stuff for law enforcement, which, we're all really thankful for.
Did I send you the verbal video where I was actually, my phone was in my hand and I'm walking around that went alongside with that one? Did I send you that?
Yeah, I did try to put it into a clip, but because it was like really shaky and everything else, I couldn't get it to fit in the
Oh,
frame of everything. So,
yeah, my phone was
um,
between my legs recording when I was saying the plate number out loud, a description of the vehicle and everything, because
right.
Ellie didn't have they didn't have anything on what he was driving. You know, they couldn't figure out where he was staying, nothing. He was sleeping in his van. So,
This
yeah.
next video that I want to put up, I'm really thankful for you for doing, because I've been interested in this area since
Oh,
it
this
was
one
first
has
Have a
about
top
5
on it.
different videos to
Oh,
it, but I only sent you this one.
yeah. So this is so the night that Michael came up missing, Sarah, Brandon, and Stacy take off from Fruitland. They're seen leaving their neighborhood, right away from 8th, or going down 8th Street, to go to Kuna. And they go to Kuna, we all know, to pick up Brandon's car and to tow it back. And on the way back, they didn't take a major freeway. They didn't want to do that because they were just using a tow rope, which is perfectly understandable. Yeah, you can't go at high speeds when you're towing with just a tow rope, okay? So they are using this is off of the corner of West State Street and Idaho 16. Idaho 16 is a freeway. And they pulled over to the side of the road when the tow rope broke. And because Sarah had to go to the bathroom. So Hot Mess, she's done videos and went several different places looking around and searching for things she found off of the YouTube that Stacy talked about either going or doing. So she went out to that location where they parked, and it was talked about, I believe it was on Justin for All at one point, about the cement block. It was also, it was talked on Crime Sleuthen's show when me and Justin actually joined her over there going through. So his
That's when
phone.
I jumped on and I talked to you guys and I said, I'm going to go out there tomorrow. I don't live far from there. That was my very first
Oh, was that
interaction.
you? Oh, that was you. I
Yeah.
remember that. I didn't
Yeah,
know that. Oh, damn.
I had a different name. I was scared.
Oh my
So I
gosh.
went out
Oh,
there.
I didn't know that. Okay. Well, that makes sense because there was somebody like, hey, I'll go check that out with my dogs tomorrow. So here we go. And
That
here's
was
the
me.
video. Hot damn. That's awesome. So on Crime Sleuthen's show, if you want to go over and watch it, he had gone over and scrolled through his phone during somebody's live, and then Crime Sleuthen and Justin got together and they tried to slow his roll completely down, and he was scrolling through on this video. And during that time, they were able to catch pictures and everything else. They were able to find some locations. They found a picture of Brandon's mom's house, a picture of a VIN number for Brandon's car. There's just a bunch of pictures that are taken and everything. It's like, why are you taking pictures? Why? I mean, it was
Pictures
almost
that
even
didn't
like,
matter.
yeah, and I'm kind of wondering, like, this is my own opinion. This hasn't, whatever, but like, was Stacy doing all of this because he was trying to make an alibi for himself or something? Like,
Just like the
I don't
picture
know.
in the drive-through. Hey, this is where I was at this time. Hey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a picture of him at an A&W, and yeah, locations and stuff were found. I believe that's also when we found out that he was at, now don't quote me on this one because I don't know for sure, but I think that's where we all found out that he had also visited that second splash pad over by Brandi's house. Or Brandi's work, I mean. So there was a lot of information found, but this is the area. There was at the end of this video, I actually have the picture Crime Sleuthen showed on her show, so she gets all the credit, and so does Justin for finding this picture, where he had, pretty much, why don't know, wanted everybody to know where he was during this time. And yeah,
Where
his
the toe
GPS
strap broke.
location and stuff. Yep. So let's listen and take a listen to this. Oh, let me add it back. Hold on.
Not have a top on it. It is probably 2 foot deep in muck. It goes down farther, but this stuff's been growing in it for a long time. I don't see anything behind it. Graylock is right there. There is a large barbed wire fence right here. But this here is deep. It's got sewage water. And it's completely open to the road. Completely.
And if you listen right here, you guys can hear all the water running through here.
It's got sewage water. And it's completely open to the road. Completely. That's the light that Stacy turned at. And if he pulled over, they pulled over about where my truck is. I'm gonna walk around and look a little bit more around this area, but I can't get down in there.
Yeah, and this is the picture. Whoops. Why did that do that? Well,
Now there were
hold on one second. Let me get this because I want to make sure. Let's see. Hold on one second.
I'm gonna walk around and look a little bit more around this area, but I can't get down in there.
Okay, now pause. This is what was on Stacy's phone. For whatever reason, he decided he wanted to make sure that this was documented. Why? It bothers me. Why did he do that?
Yep. And I walked all 4 corners there, and I took that whole route. I mean, it took me all day because I wanted to search every little spot that he kept describing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how far away would you say that the Idaho 16 right there was as you come down that road where they pulled over? Can you just give a little bit of estimate? You don't have to be 100%.
maybe a football field, maybe a high school football field.
Okay.
Time enough for them to make that turn, and the toe strap supposedly break, and then of course you've got the car's going to have to coast to a stop, and they're going to have to stop. So I'd say about a football field.
So another question for you. So, in the direction that they would then be facing as they're pulling over to the side of the road, is that the same direction heading to Fruitland, or did they have to pull off of that to park the vehicle and then go back the other way and get back to where they were? Am I confusing you?
This is the road they took that Stacy says they had to go all through. They couldn't go on the highway. So they took Robinson that turned into Star Road. I don't know the numbers of the highways.
Okay.
But
if they were pulled over to the side of the road where you were parked,
right
facing in the direction that you were facing, would they continue moving forward from there to go to Fruitland?
Yes, they would have had to drive right through Star, take Star all the way to Middleton, and then they said they turned from there and took a back road up to Fruitland. And I took that whole thing. I walked it with my dogs, people's properties. I actually did get in trouble.
Well, I've gotten in trouble for taking video and for Kyron too, so I got you. So that answers the question that some of us had been asking ourselves, whether or not the tow rope broke on the other road and then they had to push the vehicle over there, or whether or not they turned that corner, which now I'm just going to assume. So in my own opinion, and from lots of tow experiences, the cheap way was just with the rope or with the cord. I'm betting when they went around that corner, it put too much pressure on that rope and just slid it and just slipped apart. And that's why they had to pull over.
Where my truck is parked, there, that's the only place to pull over, or else the rest is just you couldn't pull over anywhere else.
Yeah,
There's
and
no
that's only to
pullover
say
mechanism.
if they're not lying about the fact that the tow rope broke. Like, was there another reason why they pulled off to the side of the road? Because we need to leave room for speculation and all of that, because let's face it, they're all lying about shit. So we just know that they did pull over there.
All right, what the picture that is on your screen right now, that is them pulling. They're in the left lane getting ready to make that left-hand turn.
Right.
And then when they make the left-hand turn at that light, my truck would be parked on the right. That's where they said they pulled over, because here they are in the turn lane.
So where your truck was parked, was that West State Street or was that Idaho 16? Do you know?
That state. What you're seeing right now is Idaho 16.
Thank you so much for clarifying. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, it is weird. It is weird. Like, why did he want everybody to know that he's here? Why is he putting it on his phone? We know that all pictures and stuff come with tracking, so they're going to know that he took this picture and that he was right. It just make sense. Why would he take the picture? Why? And then he takes pictures of the VIN number of Brandon's BMW. I know that because I looked that VIN number up and found that it was a BMW. Like, so I'm just really curious of why he would be doing those things. You know, it's the middle of the night. His tow rope just broke, or not the middle of the night. Okay. It's in the evening and it's dark, but his tow ropes just broke. And he's worried about taking pictures. I don't understand.
That's another thing I wanted to let you know. At this time of year, it's not dark at 9 o'clock at night. So, I mean, it doesn't.
Well, I don't think that they got back to Fruitland until like almost 10 o'clock. But the time that the tow rope broke, I believe it was dark. I don't know that for 100%, y'all. I'm just saying the evening timeline has always been really confusing to me, and it's just because of the lies, and we don't know exactly how long he was actually in Kuna at Brandon's mom. His story changed a dozen times about what they actually did when they got there, whether Sarah was or wasn't in the car, about Brandon going in and doing laundry, whether he was doing laundry or not doing laundry, whether he had a duffel bag or didn't have a duffel bag. So
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So the picture that's on your screen right now, is that a picture from his phone, or is that just where he pinged? Because the shadow from the vehicles is directly underneath them, and it seems to me that the sun would be high in the sky.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know if
maybe I am assuming that this is a picture that he took. So thank you for even asking that question. So yeah, I don't know if it is a picture or not, but we do know that he had to have pinned that GPS for this to be showing up on his phone.
Right.
And there's so much discussion about whether or not things in his phone can be changed around or moved, dates and times and everything else. And my admin from my Facebook group, that's, you know, she's been my partner for months and months and months. She actually looked into it all, and you can change time and dates. So we've always wondered whether or not those times and dates were changed on his phones or his phone. Hey everyone, there's 52 people in here and only 14. Please take a second, hit that like button. Thank you, y'all.
So I don't understand what you mean by timestamps of stuff.
Just
You
like,
mean, like when I take a picture on my Android and I scroll up, is that timestamp all the information about the phone?
if you take a picture on your phone, and if law enforcement were to ever get your phone, they would be able to tell where you were when you took the phone. It would be able to pinpoint you to a certain location. It may not be your exact location, but they're able to pinpoint you in a certain location. They're also able to know exactly the date that that picture was taken and
And
what
stuff like
time.
that could be changed?
Yes, it can be
Oh,
changed.
something on those programs need to be fixed. That's wrong. Something they should fix the phones to where you can't change that stuff. That shouldn't be a program on a phone.
Thank you guys all for being here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask us, to talk to Hot Mess while she's here. She starts radiation treatment on Friday. I have lots going on. Holidays are coming. I've got birthdays to celebrate. We've got the holidays here for everybody, mentioning the holidays. If you would like to click the link up above in the pin section to help the Vaughan family for their holiday season for Christmas, please use that link to, buy the kids or, some gift cards or whatever for the Vaughan family, and continue to pray for the Vaughns and everything they're going through. And BRANDI, she came out last week live on Purple's channel last Monday and talked about the fact that she has stage 3 liver disease and she needs creators, all creators. I don't care what it is that you're posting up, and I don't think she cares either. Any and all information about Michael Vaughan, share it, talk about it, put it up. YouTube creators, if you're here and you're listening, throw it up, talk about it. And anybody here in the chat, if you're on social media, whether you use TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, put out Monkey's flyer. You can go to several different Facebooks to find flyers. You can also find them online at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, 1-800 The Lost. And go there and share their flyer. Michael Vaughan Case Revisited Facebook. That's my Facebook for Michael Vaughan. When I do these lives, I put information over there because I don't mind other YouTubers using information when I put up lives on any of the lives that I ever do. If any creators want to take clips from any of the lives that we've done with Hot Mess, do that. It will help bring awareness to Michael, and that's what BRANDI's asked us to do. I would just please, ask you guys, I'm a small channel, 1,400 people here, and if you could give me some credit and give Hot Mess the credit, I would really appreciate it. If so, but you can take any and all information, and even if you don't give me credit, whatever, you don't. But I just ask that you would be respectful. I'm usually respectful and do that with other creators when I click from their channels and stuff. So please respect me enough to do so.
And it's easier than you think because I'm not technology savvy. I found flyers on Facebook and I took a screenshot, and then I took my phone into Staples and the lady did it all for me, expanded the picture, emailed it to the computer Xerox machine, and prints my stuff out. If you can take a screenshot of a flyer, just take it into a copy place and they'll do it for you from your screenshot.
Oh yeah, I've made flyers like that several times too at Office Max. Like they got their printer machines and stuff, and you can actually use your email to send it there to. They've got links at most of the places, and you can send that link and send that what's it called, that file, that picture file there, and then it goes right into the copy machine, and you just start printing away. They're expensive though. It really sucks. It's really hard to get those out. And I'm really thankful that, you know, BRANDI is able to use sometimes Kyron Horman's foundation to get flyers because they are really expensive. Flyers are great. Social media spreads faster. I always say that. Flyers are great in the area where Michael came up missing. I mean, you can put them up anywhere to bring awareness for Michael, but if you live in the area that, you know, everybody sees it walking in and out of stores, it's always on their mind. Social media is going to reach more people though. I always want to say that. Flyers in the area, social media to get it out. So it's our responsibility to help these kids and help bring awareness to these kids. And that's what the show is all about. Hot Mess, thank you. Thank you for sharing with us everything you've done and, you know, come out. You know, we've talked before, just, you know, be careful. We want you to be careful.
Well, now
Oh,
that
wait.
Stacy has seen that I'm doing these, he's not going to make. Stacy is dangerous to 5-year-olds. Stacy is not dangerous to adults. He's good with words and telling them off, but I'm not afraid of him.
Yep. Well, we're praying for you too and your radiation treatments and stuff too. So, you know, take care of yourself. Thanks again for popping up out of the blue and saying, hey, I'm tired of not talking. And because you've showed some guts, you have really showed us all that your fight and that you're going to keep fighting for Michael. And we really appreciate you being there, being local and doing that for the Vaughan family, doing that for Michael. Big shout outs to you for, you know, coming on the show and stuff. You did do a live with Dolly Vision once. You came up a little bit. So yeah, everybody give a big round of applause for Hot Mess and give her big thanks and prayers. And yeah, we love you, girl. Thank you so much for doing everything you do. We appreciate you.
I love you too. Share Michael and check out the Amazon wish list, please.
All right. Have a good night, hun.
You too, hun. Good night.
Good night. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure drama is going to keep spreading around the YouTube streets because that's what happens. You know what? It's going to bring lots of awareness for Michael. So if somebody wants to start drama, let them start some drama. I'm just thankful that Michael is being shared and that Michael name's getting passed around right now. If you have any information about Michael Monkey Vaughan, please call the Fruitland Police at 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. I appreciate everybody that came here tonight to help us bring awareness, to talk about Michael, to, you know, give support to the Vaughan family. If you purchased anything for them for the holidays, God bless you. God bless BRANDI, Michael, and the rest of the Vaughan family. Tyler, we love you. We're always praying for you too. You're never forgotten. You're always in the back of my mind. I just want you to know that. And praying for the kids. And Blue, I don't know if you listen, but congratulations on getting ready to graduate school and stuff. And yeah, let's throw up some blue hearts and some monkeys for Michael as I play the last little bit of the live. Thank you, mods, for being here tonight, for showing up for Monkey, and yeah, for just being amazing mods and always showing up. Have a good night.